Note 7.3, synthetic division. Define synthetic. Synthetic means fake. So today we're going to learn how to divide using a fake way. When can you use synthetic division? When you divide by a linear binomial. Linear means just x with no exponent, and binomial means two terms, and so you have an r, like a number here. If you notice, there's nothing in front of the x, it's just the leading coefficient is 1, and the number we always have to take the opposite, that's why it's minus. Recall, divide using long division. So we're going to do this using long division. So we're going to write x minus 2 divided by 4x cubed. And remember, if there's no x squared, see how there's nothing between these two, but there should be an x squared. We're going to write 0, x squared minus 8x plus 6. You're going to write the steps right below. Does McDonald's sell burgers? So the first step, I'm going to underline the 1x and the 4x cubed. I'm going to divide. 1 goes into 4 times, and if you take an x away from x cubed, you have 4x squared. I'm going to take the 4x squared with the m, I'm going to multiply it with the x minus 2. 4x squared times 1x is 4x cubed. 4x squared times negative 2 is negative x squared. 8x squared. S, subtract, so I'm going to change the signs. And then I'm going to combine. So these cancel out. 0 plus 8 is 8x squared. B for bring down, so I'm going to bring down the negative 8x. And I'm going to start over again. So I'm going to divide, underline this. 1 goes into 8 times. Take an x away from x squared, that's positive 8x. M for multiply, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply the 8x with the 1x minus 2. So 8x squared minus 16x. Subtract. Just change the signs. These cancel. 8x. Bring down. Positive 6. And divide one more time. 1x goes into 8x. 8 times. Multiply. 8x minus 16. Subtract. And my remainder is 22. So plus 22 over x minus 2. So this is my answer. Okay, now let's try using synthetic division. But first we're going to write the steps. So we'll write the steps here. The first step is to take the opposite of linear binomial. Second step is to write the coefficients only. So coefficients just mean numbers. Coefficients only in order. So you need to write the x cubes first, x squares, x's, and x to 0. X to 0 just means the number by itself. Just the numbers in front of these x's. Third, bring down first coefficient. Fourth step is to multiply and then add until you're done. Okay, so let's see how this works. First step, take the opposite of the linear binomial. So I'm dividing by a linear binomial, so I can use synthetic division. So we're going to write a 2, and we're going to put in this box right there. Then we're going to write all the coefficients in order. So the coefficient for x cubed is 4. The coefficient for x squared is 0. The coefficient for x is negative 8. and the coefficient for the x to 0 is 6. I'm going to draw a line right here, and draw a box here. This box is our remainder, the very last one. Okay, so bring down the first one, 4. Multiply the 2 and the 4, and write it here. So 2 times 4 is 8, then add 0 plus 8 is 8. Multiply again, 2 times 8, 16. Add 8. 2 times 8 is 16. Add, that would be 22. So when I'm done, these are all the coefficients of the answer. And the answer is always one less, the term. So we start with x cubed. So this is going to be 4x squared plus 8x plus 8 plus 22 over x minus 2. Now if you notice, it's the same answer as what we got from long division. Okay, but this is much shorter, and it's called synthetic division. It's fake, but we can only do this when we're dividing by a linear binomial. That means the x has no exponent and there's nothing in front of the x. Alright, so let's try a couple more. Example 1. So the first step is to take the opposite of the linear binomial. So here it is. So take the opposite of that, negative 6. Then we're going to write all the leading coefficients. All the coefficients, actually, not the leading. So the first coefficient is 2, 7, and negative 30. There's nothing missing in between, so no need to write a 0. This last one is our remainder. Okay, first step, bring down the 2. Multiply. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Add, that would be negative 5. Negative 6 times negative 5 is positive 30. And our remainder is 0. Okay, so when there's a remainder of 0, that means there's going to be a perfect factor. So let's write our answer. 2x, it's always one less, minus 5. Example 2. We're going to go ahead and write 1. Take the opposite, write the coefficient. So this is a 1. There's a negative 7. Now you see how there's no x, so that's going to be 0, negative 9. Bring down the first one, 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Add, negative 6. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. 0 plus negative 6 is negative 6. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. And negative 15. So we're going to write our answer. This is going to be 1x, 1 less than this. So 1x squared minus 6x minus 6 minus 15 over x minus 1. And the last example here, can we use synthetic division here? Look at how there's 3 terms. So this is a trinomial and there's an x squared. That makes it not linear. So we can't use synthetic, we have to use quadratic. So let's go ahead, we have to use long division. So let's go ahead and use long division. This is actually a quadratic equation because it's x squared. So let's go ahead and write the steps. Does McDonald's sell burgers? Okay, so I'm going to underline the leading coefficients, and I'm going to divide, because D means divide. 1 goes in 1 time, and if I take 2 x's away from 3 x's, you have 1x. Multiply this with this whole thing. 1x times 1x squared is 1x cubed. 1x times x is 1x squared. 1x times 1 is 1x. Subtract. So I'm going to change the signs. These cross out. This is 2x squared plus 2x plus 2. And then start over. 1x squared goes into 2x squared 2 times. Take the 2, multiply it with this whole thing. 2 times 1x squared is 2x squared. 2 times 1x is 2x. 2 times 1 is 2. Subtract. Cancels, cancels, no remainder. So that is our factor. Thank you for your time. This is Notes 7.3, Synthetic Division.